everybody, it's Emily at ARG Schooling, and today I'm going to be bringing you my December TBR. I have a bit of an ambitious TBR for this month. I don't know how much of this I'll actually get to because it's December, it's busy, I don't know. I try to pack in a lot of reading at the end of the year, and most of it is things that I've been wanting to read all year and just haven't gotten to yet. I'm gonna go for it and see how much reading I can actually accomplish this month. So a lot of this is going to be repeats that you've already seen me talk about. So first off, I have The Toll by Neil Shusterman, which technically I did read this in November. However, I'm reading it again right now with my twins. We're doing this as a read aloud. It's really fun to get to talk it out as we read. This is also the ARG Booked Book Club pick for November and December. So we're going to have a live show in a couple of weeks. December 21st is the live show about it. So if you haven't read it yet, there's still time to finish this up and then come hang out and talk to me about all of your thoughts. I'm very excited. Sarah's going to be here. Hopefully she'll have read it by then. I don't know. Busy college student with finals and all, I understand, but hopefully she squeezes this in so she can hang out with us too. I believe the live show is going to be on December 21st at 6 o'clock Eastern Time. Very excited. Can't wait to talk to you guys about it. I have so many thoughts. I'm also hoping to pick up Signal to Noise by Sylvia Moreno Garcia. I have been talking about this book for ages and I'm gonna read it. It's happening. I even downloaded it to my Kindle. It might still be. It's on sale for like 99 cents. So, I mean, even though I already have it, now I have two different places I could potentially read it. So it's gonna happen. This story is about magic and music in the 80s in Mexico City. It's got like some magical realism and sci-fi vibes, but it's also got a lot of the 80s stuff. I know it gets compared to Stranger Things because it's in the 80s, and so I don't know how much of it's actually similar to Stranger Things. Probably not a lot. They just like to compare things. I'm super excited to pick this up though. I'm currently in the middle of reading Fatal Throne, The Wives of Henry VIII Tell All. I'm really liking this so far, so I'm excited. I might do a whole review. I don't know yet. We'll see what I get around to doing. But this is a collection of young adult authors, each tackling one of the wives of Henry VIII and Henry VIII as well. So the way it's set up is you get a chapter from one of the wives, then you get the response chapter sort of from Henry VIII and like his side of the story. It's really good so far. I finished the Anne Boleyn chapter the other day and it was like perfection. I really enjoy reading about Anne Boleyn. She's one of those characters in history that just fascinates me to no end. Just the different ways she's been portrayed. And this, I think, did a really good job. That one was written by Stephanie Hemphill, I believe. Let me check. Yeah, Stephanie Hemphill wrote the chapter on Anne Boleyn, and I've never read anything by her before, but now I'm really intrigued, and I'm going to go seek out some more of her books because the way she tackled the Anne chapter was just so good. I'll probably talk more about that in my wrap-up, but just know that I'm so far really enjoying this. I'm hoping that this is a 5-star. Yet another carryover. I'm going to try to read The Hunger by Alma Katsu in December. I really wanted to read this in December, or in this year, because earlier this year I read The Indifferent Stars Above, which is one of my favorite books of the year. This is by Daniel James Brown, by the way. But it was one of my favorite books this year, so I've been dying to read something else based on the Donner Party. And so I have the Hunger lined up, ready to go if I can just get around to it. This is a story about the Donner Party, but like with a supernatural twist. And I've just been so curious to read this. So I'm hoping to pick this up in December. I'd also really like to make time to read Real Queer America, LGBT Stories from the Red States by Samantha Allen. This is a nonfiction memoir written by a trans woman. It just sounds like an interesting story. I'm very curious about this. And I know Cece at Problems of a Book Nerd has said this is one of her favorite books, so I really want to pick this up. I'm planning on reading an ARC this month because Blood Countess by Lana Popovic comes out in early January, so I wanted to read this the month before so I could hype it up if I like it. So this is an Elizabeth Bathory story. It's young adult. I don't really know a ton about it, but I was just so excited to see that we were going to get an Elizabeth Bathory story, and I'm just fascinated by her. I love Dracula stories, but I just love the story of Elizabeth Bathory. The back says, 16-year-old Anna Darvulia has just begun working as a scullery maid for Countess Elizabeth Bathory, a woman as enigmatic as she is beautiful. When Elizabeth takes a liking to Anna, she is vaulted to chambermaid status and begins to reside in the Countess's private suite, far from the filthy, drafty servants' quarters below. For the ambitious Anna, it's a dream. She receives wages generous enough to provide for her family, and the lonely, calculating Countess, whose cruel husband is often away at war, begins to groom Anna as her friend, confidant, and eventual lover. No sooner does Elizabeth beguile Anna entirely than Elizabeth's perfect facade begins to crack. And when others in her employ disappear, Anna begins to fear the person she's begun to love has crossed over into madness, or worse. Then comes the murders, and Anna knows it's only a matter of time before Countess Elizabeth turns on her as well. After she tries to thwart the Countess's atrocities, Anna realizes she isn't the Countess's friend or lover, she's her prisoner, and if she stays any longer, she may well become her perfect foil. This sounds so good, so I'm very excited to pick this up. And like I said, this will be out in January, I believe January 7th, but I might be wrong. I will try to put that up on the screen somewhere. I'm also excited to read Jefferson's Sons by Kimberly Brubaker Bradley. I've been wanting to pick this up for a while. I have it in my potentials for the level 5 update. I'm pretty confident that this is going to be good. I've heard a lot of really good things about it. I really loved The War That Saved My Life duology. So I'm very excited to pick this up and read it. This is all about Thomas Jefferson's children through his Sally Hemings, who was his slave, and about like what their lives were like growing up, knowing that they were his children but not legitimate and treated as slaves, as property. I'm very, very excited to see what I think of this. I also would like to read The Game of Love and Death by Martha Brockenbrough. I don't know a lot about this beyond I picked it up on a whim because the premise sounded so similar to Lovely War that I had to find out more. So this is a story that's told, I think it's after World War I, or yeah, it's in the Jazz Age. So in the 20s, it takes place in the 1920s in America, and it's told by love and death as they like roll the dice and see which one of them will win this game of love, basically. So yeah, it says, for centuries, love and death have chosen their players. They have set the rules, rolled the dice, and kept close, ready to influence, angling for supremacy. And death has always won. Always. Could there ever be one time, one place, one pair whose love would truly tip the balance? Meet Flora Sade, an African-American girl who dreams of becoming the next Amelia Earhart by day and sings in the smoky jazz clubs of Seattle by night. Meet Henry Bishop, born a few blocks and a million worlds away, a white boy with his future assured, a wealthy adoptive family in the midst of the Great Depression, a college scholarship, and all the opportunities in the world seemingly available to him. The players have been chosen, the dice have been rolled, but when human beings make moves of their own, what happens next is anyone's guess. This sounds so great. I'm really hoping that this is just as good as Lovely War by Julie Berry, because that was one of my favorite books this year, and I just want more things like that. So I have no idea if this is any good or not, but I'm hopeful. I also have the final 3 Walking Dead comics that I need to get to, and then I'll finish the series. I already read, technically, in December. I read New World Order Volume 30, and then I need to read Volume 31, The Rotten Core, and Volume 32, Rest in Peace, and then I'm done with The Walking Dead. Like, I'll have read all of it. It's crazy to think about that, but I'm determined to finish it this month so that I can say I read it in 10 years. Because I started it back in like 2009, so, you know, it'll be a decade of reading The Walking Dead, so that'll be cool. I also have several books I'm reading on my Kindle. I have some ARCs that I'm reading from NetGalley. I have some other things lined up that I want to get to, but I don't know. But honestly, there's just so many things that I want to squeeze in this month. I don't know how much of it will happen, but I'm always super hopeful that I can get a lot of reading in. I've already met my Goodreads goal, so like I'm done. I have a few challenges left in the Build Your Library Reading Challenge, but I don't know how much of those I'll hit by the end of the year. I think I'll have done most of them. I'm thinking there's probably going to be at least 3 or 4 that I just don't make, and that's fine. I've let that go. But, you know, I'm hopeful that I can at least get a bunch of reading done this month. So what do you guys have lined up to read in December? I'd love to hear about it. You can let me know down in the comments and we can chat. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Happy reading. Bye.